have you not read books? Like crossing paths is always like the chance. It was just like, mwah.
I couldn't put my phone down. I couldn't put my phone down at
No,
all. I came back in the house and I was like, I looked at Fair, I said, bitch. Like, do you understand?
No.
And it was a big deal.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. So again, I feel like justice was not done right. And why is it getting commemorated when you went last in the train? You was the number one pick and you going last in the train. And if I want to get into my conspiracy bag, people keep trying to say Shannon had something to do with this. I don't think so. I think Colin did. And you want to know why?
Your whole life is revolved around talking about other people's lives.
What the fuck do you think your podcast is doing on that podcast now?
This podcast is sponsored by Graffiti Tax Services. For all your tax preparation needs, you can go to graffititax.com. We're going to put the link right here. It should be somewhere. And yeah, you can head to them for during tax season. And if you have any financial or tax preparation questions, head to Graffiti Tax Services. They're our new sponsor. Thank you to Graffiti Tax Preparation Services. That's it.
Vacation's over, baby.
Oh my God, back to work, I guess.
It has been a long time, so I want to thank all of our supporters and the guys who loves our show, girls who love our show. Appreciate y'all waiting for us. I know it's been a long time, probably like 2 weeks for y'all. Mm-hmm. We tried to get y'all a little something, before the holidays. We tried to warn y'all that we was gonna be gone for a minute. I think we didn't take advantage of the time that we had a better set than Joe Budden, but that's
that 2 weeks.
Yeah, that 2 week span that we had a better set than him. I mean, we didn't take
that
advantage
was
of
short lived.
That it wasn't our best thing that we probably could have did, but it is what it is. But so this is what we got to get into, man. We want to tell y'all a little bit about our vacation, our time, and then we're gonna get into the show. So we weren't together for Christmas.
No, I went home to New York and spent Christmas with my father and my grandmother and my new step siblings.
How was that? How was that being a sister for the first time?
Oh my God, I took my little stepbrother to Five Below, and then I was like, get whatever you want.
Oh, you cashed out at the
Whatever.
Five Below?
This nigga was like, I need 3 things. And then I was like, you can get whatever you want, right? And he was like, 3 things is what I want. And then he got those 3 things. It took 7 minutes and he was like, it's time to go.
I mean, when they're at a certain age, they do be like,
he's like 11.
That's the great age, because that's when they really don't be wanting too much. He don't know what he's supposed to want yet. Mm-hmm. So he's still got like a very like satiable appetite.
He had a cousin with him and I was like, you can pick one thing out too. Go ahead. Like, I'm not about to leave you out.
Oh, I used to love to do that. Leave you out.
Because I was always the odd like cousin out. So I was like, you can get a thing too. He got a basketball. I was like, thank God. Because this little nigga is a little...
He tall?
He's a little fluffy.
Okay, get athletic. Get out
He's
there.
a little too fluffy.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. Get him out there.
I'd
probably should have gave him
be
football.
on the phone with my dad. Like, you need to put them kids in sports.
You probably should have gave him a football then if he's fluffy. Could have got out there and blocked somebody.
Listen, they picked the basketball. I was like, go ahead. But you know what? You might be right.
I'm just trying to tell you. Blindside, baby.
I'm gonna call my dad tomorrow.
Put him up there, man. Get him a little CTE. He'll be all right.
He wears a men's medium.
Yeah, get him a little CTE. He'll be all right. You can shake that off.
This nigga's 11 years old. Is that normal?
I mean, if he's gonna be a big human, yeah.
He's definitely gonna be a big human.
So was there anything else that you did on vacation that you want to talk about? Saw your friends or anything?
Always a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Saw my friends. We stayed up, drank, had a little cute game night, and then that was all. What did you do?
Go bowling, right?
Oh yeah, it was one of my surrogate mother's birthdays. Mm-hmm. So I went to celebrate her, and then I gave her a little gift too.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. But no, well, with me, I had to work the day before on Christmas Eve, so I ended up just crashing at the crib, and then I went to my sister's house, and we all kind of spent there. Mm-hmm. And I just got to be just my unfiltered self around my family. Like, rarely people see this side of me, because it's not a comfortable side. Like, when you're making fun of like the kids' haircuts and like the way that they pronounce certain words, it comes off like you're being mean to them, but they know it's just out of good fun.
You need to keep making fun of the haircuts.
Oh, always. I stay on top of that.
Because last time I was around them, I was like, oh, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, you see it, right? Right?
That shit.
It's crazy.
Patches.
McGee.
Patches McGee.
having my boys looking messed up.
That shit is crazy. I was like,
handsome boys.
I whispered to your sister. I was like, you gotta start taking them to the barber shop.
No, never.
I was like, maybe you should start taking them to the barber shop. Maybe you should consider it.
Never. She's never gonna do that. She's gonna hold it down. Hey, salute. I be making those kind of jokes. So
she's a superior mother. Like,
yeah, I mean, we all got our blind spots. Hers is just when she got the clippers. But no, all love too. We just playing with you.
No guard. She be doing that shit with no guard. Obviously,
she is gonna be so mad if she watches this. She's gonna call me. She's gonna call you. So you better stop playing. You know how she is. So don't do that. You know how she'll get. She'll start being all in her feelings. But no, I just had a good time with me too. You know about the holidays. The main thing is just I be wanting to be with my parents because I just know they're getting older. So I just love to just like make sure I'm around them, even if I get on their nerves.
Old as fuck.
That's hate.
I'm kidding.
But no, even when I know I'm getting on their nerves. I really got on my mom's nerves.
What'd you do?
I was just playing with her, messing with her.
What'd you say to her?
I'm not going to say it on here.
Okay.
I think I should repeat it.
That's how bad it was. If you were just messing with her, but you can't repeat it on the pod, you obviously were not just messing with her, and you need to call that woman and apologize.
Oh no, it's probably past that. But we just to me,
it's never past that. She's your mother.
She wasn't hurt like that. She'd just be annoyed by me. That's all.
Yeah,
I'm like a little fly to her in the air, and she just be trying to swat it away. But no, we all had a good time. We watched the game. We watched sports. We talked trash. I, made some profound statements. Things that
I'm sure they weren't profound. Last time we were together all with his family, he made everybody get on the scale and act like their weight was a game.
That was fun. Everybody had a good time with that. You were the only one who tried to ridicule it. Everybody else enjoyed themselves.
I don't think everybody enjoyed themselves at all.
They very much so did. You're a hater. Like my family, even though I am the annoying family member, they do love me. They appreciate him. They appreciate it because without
you have to.
Like if I was to like get into like something kills me, you know what I'm saying, and I'm no longer around, my family would be bored.
No, they definitely would be.
They would be so like distraught.
You're definitely the energy.
It would be like a mime fest.
I don't even know what that would look like.
Yeah, it would be just a silent.
Who would be the person? It would be up to person.
Yeah, he would have to take up my wing. I think I pushed him into the right direction, so he should be.
Yeah, I feel like he could do the shenanigans.
He can handle
enough.
it.
Yeah,
I think he's more than prepared.
And he be doing shenanigans.
And then New Year's came around. We were planning on doing something, right? I'm not the outside person because
I am.
Because and this is what I realized between us. It's not that I don't enjoy doing things. I'm more bougier than you.
No, you don't enjoy doing things.
No, it's not that I don't enjoy doing things at a very common scale. So like if I do like when you wanted to go to that concert, I was shocked that you were just okay with being in the nosebleeds. Like to me, that's just why go to the concert? Might as well just watch it on the internet or something. If I'm going to be in the nosebleeds, like so I've realized that it's just we have a different scale of bougie, and I think that's just probably coming from just our different upbringings. So it's like if I'm going to go out somewhere, I don't really like it because I know for me to be comfortable and have a good time, I have to spend a lot of money. And for you, you're just like, oh, we don't have to spend that money. And it's like, well, now you're open to dangers because we've seen what happened on New Year's. There's a lot of different stuff that happened. So again, RIP to all those people.
There's danger everywhere. I'm going to be outside.
But it's the difference between danger and you're in a
I don't know what to tell you.
Or you're in a like VIP section. And then danger, and you're just on the side of the road.
Danger be in VIP sections too, and in suites. I don't know.
But it's not. But there's more precautions there that can stop you from having a night that's your last.
Yeah, I guess.
And that's where it's just with me. When I like to go out, I spend too much money. Like I spend a lot of money. I get that just from my parents too, because they would just when we went places, we didn't do it a lot, but when we did it big. Mm-hmm. So that's where it's just with me. It's like I'd rather just not go out if I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, we have different takes on that.
But then you had a bad leg, so we didn't even have to go out.
Oh my God, my sciatica was acting up. I was like, what is this? So the reason we didn't go out though was because everyone took too long to like let me know that they like confirmed what I wanted to do, and then tickets were sold out.
By the time
I would have limped my ass to the club. Like,
oh my goodness.
What do you mean? I'm getting older and older. I'm only this young, this very second, every second. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to do all of the things.
Miss Reality just turned 30.
And my sciatica acting up. My first New Year as a 30, I was in pain.
As a 30.
As a 30.
We took it in with Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen, man. That was a good
We had a
year.
blast. We got a crab boil. We got a bottle. We got a couple bottles, actually. And
You got a couple bottles, really? I had like one little cup.
yeah, like a shot or two. It was slow.
No, I had more than a shot or two. I mean, every time you took a shot, I took a shot.
Okay, I don't remember.
You just kept drinking more. I just didn't keep drinking.
No, yeah,
more.
and then my mom got home and we both popped a bottle of champagne, and then we finished the bottle of champagne together. And then when the bottle of champagne was done, we both were drinking our respective bottles of wine because she drinks red wine and I drink white wine.
Mm-hmm.
And then we was just sitting right here in front of the fireplace with the fire on, chopping it up.
Yeah, I was knocked out.
As soon as
it was like 3:00 when I went to sleep. 2 or 3.
Was it?
That's what it felt like.
No,
I stayed up for a minute.
It was probably like 1.
No, it was like 2.
I don't think you stayed.
I remember looking
because
at
I
my
went
phone.
to sleep at 3.
I looked at my phone and saw 2. And I fell asleep in the hallway, like standing straight up.
Yeah, old ass man.
I'm just tired.
Like what?
I literally had to work the day. I was
It
working
don't
all
matter.
day. So I guess for me it does. I was tired. I had to think.
Wake up, no sleep, club, another club.
See how you just this ambition that she just goes with when it comes to just how she's going to party it all night, and then she only want to be there for 40 minutes. That's the crazy part.
That's the thing. I was gonna say that, but when I'm in New York, it's a completely different vibe.
So can you also understand why, like, if I have this bougie idea of things, then me spending like $2,000 or something on a night out, and then you want to be there for 40 minutes.
I'm not gonna be there for 40 minutes if you spend $2,000 on a night out that we plan for mad long. That's not how that works.
Okay.
But if we pop out with your friends or something and they go to a niggery ass club, just niggering it up, and they're just playing nigger music the whole time. There's so many bleeps. You're gonna have to bleep all of this out because this is way too early.
I think we passed the first couple few minutes though.
But like, then yeah, I'm not gonna want to be there for that long.
I mean, it's understandable.
But if my birthday happened and we went to a spot, we paid for a section and we stayed until like 20 minutes before the shit closed. No, we stayed until everyone was leaving the whole time.
That's nasty. That's nasty.
Yeah, because we were having a fucking blast. We had bottles. We was in a section. We was lit.
That's not staying on to the light.
Yeah, I am.
Because, being a brother who didn't make it, that shit gotta hurt. Like the one who we all trained for this and y'all two made it and not me.
Oh, he's the only one that didn't make it?
Yeah, he played in the league for a little bit, but he's not. His brothers are like got big contracts in the league, real contracts. He does.
Oh, damn.
So it's dope
it
to see
had
that.
to be one of them. Though.
And after that Angel Reese interview, I thought you was a pussy. I'm not gonna lie to you, Liangelo. You was talking about you was scared to go overseas.
What did
and shit.
Liangelo do?
He was just talking about he was scared to go overseas and hoop and shit. Like, I'm waiting for the G. I'm trying to get in the... No, nigga, go hoop, nigga.
It sounded like Gangstalicious wrote this song for real, though.
They said, they said LaMelo wrote it. This is what I heard. I think it's from Gilbert or somebody. They said LaMelo wrote it.
Nikki Baby wrote this.
No,
Miss Nikki Baby wrote this song.
Listen to this. This sounds like talking about the guns and all this stuff. This is LaMelo.
This sounds like a seasoned human.
This is LaMelo living a fever dream. And then they said Lonzo produced it. Because, Lonzo, they've been into the music. Like, I followed this. I used to watch their Facebook show.
Their Facebook show?
When Lonzo first got drafted, they had a Facebook
Okay, Papa.
Ball in the Family.
The fuck?
That shit was hard. I love that show.
This nigga watched shows on Facebook.
Ball in the Family was a dope reality show. And like I said, I've been watching them and supporting them ever since he stole that shit in China. You know what I'm saying? So just to see where he then came from, how he fucked up and then was able to recover. He only got 2 chances in the league too. Like he played for Detroit, and then he played with LaMelo when he went to Charlotte. So he only had like
they need to put all 3 of them niggas on the same team just for entertainment purposes.
All right, fair ball. They sound like they damn daddy.
Oh, is that what that's his shit? That's what he be trying to get off?
No, they need to get all my boys in the same team. We gonna run right through the league.
Well, probably not, but it would be highly entertaining, especially maybe a team that needs some more like media attention. that's struggling on the marketing tip.
We'll see.
Get all three of the Ball brothers.
Lonzo may be on the trading block, so they'll
Get
see.
ball.
Oh, that's weird. Don't do that. Well, listen, we got to introduce the show, okay?
Okay.
All right, you're now listening to Talk FNF TV. I'm your host, Rhetorik, absurd Rhetorik, and I'm with my lovely and amazing and gorgeous and fabulous and phenomenal co-host, Miss Reality.
Hi guys. We're gonna start workshopping a new name for me because I feel like too many bitches got that name.
Reality.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's basic. I'm not a basic bitch.
Everybody calls you Miss Absurd or Miss Fred, and they do all that usually.
Yeah, that's misogyny.
You think so? Women do it too.
Yeah. Internalized misogyny.
Okay, well, makes sense. Salute.
Like women could be misogynists too. Women be the biggest misogynists. I used to be the biggest. Sometimes I'm still wildly misogynist.
Yeah, well, that's why you with me.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why.
There's no way that a woman that isn't slightly also misogynist could be with you.
I'm going to test that today in these conversations. So
You test it every day in every conversation, even not on camera. So,
well, this first one is actually the perfect one for it. So I've been excited to talk about this. I love when me and Farrah first started talking. She didn't see me watch ESPN. She saw me watch FS1. She used to be like, "What is this? Like, I've never seen these people on TV ever. Who are these people?"
I was like, "Who is this white man?"
I used to tell her, "Well, you said Persian." She was.
Oh yeah.
And this actually fits into this story.
Yeah, I
So-
was like, "This is he looks Egyptian."
Shout out to Nick Wright. But so let's get into this. So there's been a lawsuit that has been placed from a Miss Faraji. I think her name was Noshi Faraji. Was her full name. She was a hairdresser that worked for FS1, and FS1 is a branch of Fox. That's going to be important because I'm going to put some in perspective a little bit later on in the conversation. But she was a hairdresser there. She worked under a lot of the team members for a while. She talked about her progression in the lawsuit and how she rose up, and she talked about how she ran into a Miss Joy Taylor. So Joy was kind of her bringing into this world that she didn't really know that was going on at FS1. So Joy comes in, she moves from Miami. She's has some, they try to play her like she doesn't have this background in the court case.
She has a degree.
Yeah, she has a degree. She's done shows.
She did internships and radio shows.
Her brother is
also
a Hall of Famer football player.
So she grew up around sports and things like that. So
she's
she
been
wasn't
around the game.
completely.
She's not that green to it. But
Yeah.
to get the role that she was getting, that was a big role because a lot of the women beforehand did other like big anchor roles.
Yeah.
So this was actually a big thing being a moderator for her to get there. So she talks about how she got into these roles. So according to Miss Faraji, Joy was sleeping with an executive, Charlie Dixon. Not only was she sleeping with him, she was married, and so was he.
Charlie Dixon is the head of content.
Yes. So
this is like a very powerful person at Fox.
So I'm gonna give y'all a little background for Charlie. So Charlie used to work at ESPN. Charlie created the talking head debate show format that is First Take. That was First and 10 that turned into First Take. So Skip is his boy. He essentially invented Skip, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
So that's where they kind of came over together.
I invented Skip.
So that's where he came over first, and then he brought Skip a few years later after he started getting FS1 kind of going. So they bring in, and she finds out that they're sleeping together. She ends up finding out that Charlie's an executive because she runs into him at the office one day.
So they like go out to the bars and stuff, and there's always this old white man paying for everything that they do. And then she's at work and she's like, "Girl, I just ran into the old white man that be paying for everything." And Drew was like, "Calm the fuck down. That is the chief of content or whatever the fuck."
That's my boss.
his title is. So that was interesting.
So then it goes on.
I'd be like,
so it gets even more scandalous.
no, the tea
It's brewing.
was spilt in this lawsuit. This is one of the messiest lawsuits I've ever come across. It was mad. Just tea, but it was necessary for her to just like paint a picture of the environment that she was working in. But it was just like, mwah.
I couldn't put my phone down. I couldn't put my phone down at
No,
all. I came back in the house and I was like, I looked at Farrah and said, "Bitch." Do you understand?
No, because you called me on your way home and you were like, "Bitch." Did you see this? I was like, "Babe, we'll talk about it when you get home," because literally you are 7 minutes away. Like,
and so we get into more of this. Let's get into more of how it goes on. So like I said, it gets even more scandalous when they have a Christmas party. So it's a holiday kind of party, and Charlie gets a little handsy with Miss Faraji. he then touches on
smacks
her
ass.
Yeah, he smacks on her ass. He touches on her. Gets a little frisky. So as any woman, I would expect, I'm gonna go to the person who I know has a close relationship with this man.
Yes. So
and she went
tells
to
Joy.
And Joy did not be a girl's girl in that moment.
No, because she's a quid pro quo type of girly. So she was like, take that on the chin. Don't say anything about it.
He can get us both fired.
Yeah.
Is what her central threat was.
But I feel like when you confide in a woman, you think that she's gonna be like, yeah, but there's a very large possibility that she's gonna be like, no, you can't say anything, you have to hide it, because that's just trauma. Like that's how some women are taught to behave. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't surprise me at all that she said that.
And as being a former athlete in high school, you learn that a lot of your teammates' sisters be ready to go. Like they be ready. And there's a real reason for that. I'm just telling you, it's a real reason for that. That's the first time a lot of girls see men who are at a trajectory that's going to help improve their life. It's like when you see the dude in school, you don't know he's going to be good in school. You don't know what he's going to be. But you go to a basketball player or a football player, you know that, he might go to college and play, and then he might have a future beyond that. So they be ready. They be ready to cuff. And they be ready to exchange favors for things. So, I mean, I can just see
exchanging favors for things in high school because a nigga might be rich later is crazy, because that is mad foresight as a whore. You have to
You're in New York. You didn't think girls was doing that for the good basketball player? Because I know they doing it out here for the good football player.
Probably. It's just like, that's not the type of bitch I was. So that's not the state of mind I was in.
I know plenty of chicks.
I was being stupid. I was just dating niggas because I liked them for their personality. I should have been
goofy.
Right? Like, but no, dumb bitch.
I knew a whole bunch of chicks who, like, to this day, like, they are cool with a nigga who's in the league or NFL, and like, they'll, every once in a while they might do some things, but I don't know a single
nigga in the league or in the NFL.
Oh, well, it's strictly good. That's strict. So, like I said, to me, and it goes into what I think about Joy later on in it, but I just wanted to add that point in there. So it goes on to some more. She ends up talking to Skip when he gets there. They develop a relationship because one of these things that I think a lot of people have been ignoring about this lawsuit, this is a labor dispute before anything else. If you watch, the first thing that they talk about was the fact that she wasn't getting paid for overtime. She was doing things that was out of her job description. Like she was cutting hair. She was staying long hours. They wasn't paying her for these hours.
Yeah. And then she was like retaliated against, right? Mm-hmm. Afterwards, and which made her, she started getting less and less and less work, and then she lost her job. Mm-hmm. So then she's suing for lost wages also.
Yeah. So and also through the cases that you see, there was a power dynamic and a shift in allegiances. So Joy essentially starts to kind of push away Nashawn or Miss Faraji regarding her doing her hair and having her do particular things.
She said that she wanted a black stylist.
Yeah, she was grandstanding because Faraji was like, I've been doing black hair for 10 years. So like,
she had actually been working with Fox for 14 years as a hairdresser.
She'd been there for longer than everybody else who'd been at Fox.
Yeah.
So then Skip comes into the building. He gets his contract with FS1, and now she's doing his hair. Mm-hmm. They build a rapport together. She speaks to that, where they kind of got close. He confided in her more than anyone else because he's not really someone who confides with the other talent. But from what I've heard from other people, they said he's very open with like the people who do hair, makeup. He gets very close with those people. Security, things like that.
I would think that was nice if he wasn't also being creepy.
Yeah, I mean, that's you would expect people who are to themselves like that and are very competitive to kind of not look at the people who they don't look as competition. They'd be very normal and nice to. That just kind of happens in that general
that was a good
aspect. So, but they talk about their relationship going, and she says that he starts to grow fond of her, and he wants to spend more time with her, be around her. According to Jason Whitlock, he said that he saw them around each other all the time when he worked at FS1. Mm-hmm. So I can give credence to that. It was even funnier too. Jason posted out a video of a former co-host that Skip used to work with, who was telling a story where they was all talking about the girls and who got what, and Skip said, I had more sex than anybody in this room. So Skip was like a freak boy from what all intents and purposes of people are alleging.
Yeah, you can tell that nigga's a freak.
Some people
by like just his face and his jaw and like the way his hair sits. So like he be eating booty. You can like tell he's a madman.
This is how I know he's. This is when I knew Skip was wild. So we're gonna get into his allegations in just a moment, to where he comes from. But I want y'all to hear this because this came from Skip a long time ago. So he did a show, like I said, he did a show called First Take, right? And this used to always stick into my mind when I was younger because it was just such a weird thing that he said. So Lil Wayne was on the show. This is like one of the first time Lil Wayne was ever on like a major network. And so they were coming back from a break and they started talking about their favorite songs and what's his favorite song. So what do you think Skip? This is probably 2008, 2009. What do you think Skip Bayless's favorite song of Lil Wayne's would be at that time?
If you're talking about him being a freaky ass nigga, Wayne's freakiest song is Pussy Monster.
Learned now in this latest break.
Would you believe my favorite song on That Carter 3 is a crowd favorite? It's not even a big sort of commercial hit.
Right.
It's called Monster. Right?
Yes, it is.
And I didn't know that.
That it was a hit? That you actually have something in common with other people?
I was...
Lil Wayne, you've done the impossible. You have brought Skip to the people. That's never been done before.
Two things.
That's good.
All right, second down time.
That's his favorite song. But
Two things I would like to address from that clip, and let me get my shit off real quick because I'm gonna forget. One, That Carter, cringy as fuck. Let's quickly move on to my second point. Pussy Monster made niggas start eating pussy. Wayne, after he made Pussy Monster, the black guy still had this like, oh, I don't eat pussy type of thing. And then after Pussy Monster dropped, they were like, oh, this is what niggas is doing. We're cool with this. We're doing. And he opened the floodgates. I will never have anything bad to say about Lil Wayne.
Fraudgy talks about the relationship going on with Skip longer, and what she basically says is that at one point Skip offers her $1.5 million to sleep with her. He puts it all out on the line, basically.
Which is like the only thing that I was like,
to me, the funniest part was, and this is this is the reason why I kind of believe this, because she says no, and then he goes straight into debate mode. Aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your father have 3 or 4 wives?
Because she was like, no, because you're married. And he goes, but aren't you Muslim? Your father has a couple wives. Like, okay, but nigga, still, that doesn't refute the fact that you're fucking not and you would still be cheating. What is, like, even if my father did have multiple wives, what the fuck does that have to do with your cheating ass?
She quelled that by saying my father is dead.
She did say that, yeah.
And then, like, this is where I know how Skip was a freaky boy in this story, right? She goes to even lengths to where she says she's developed ovarian cancer. She tells him thinking that that's going to deter him. That only made him want her more. There was even a quote there where she said...
He was like, I want that shit before it shrivels up and dies.
Oh, shit. The nigga did say to her, though, that the more that you resist me, the more you make me want you more.
Rapey.
That's what he said. He's Pepe Le Pew.
That is
Skippy Le Pew.
That is the tagline of sexual abusers.
Man, well, again, this is all these allegations from
no, but
her
like
court
inherently,
case.
is it not like what makes somebody a rapist is them being turned on by like the power struggle,
the resistance,
yes,
the control.
So that is literally like,
oh no, I agree that this is
wildly unsettling.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So then she goes into more of the conversation because the way that she kind of plays this, like I said, she went from Joy being her on her side to Skip being the biggest person, because she talks about how they were trying to get rid of her. She got hurt. She ended up having to, lose time for that. When she came back, people weren't scheduling her the way she was supposed to, and she was losing money regarding that. Then she also said that people were mocking her. So she's talked about a few examples of this where she had this culture where she was disrespected. There was a Miss M. She was cussing and calling her names and, talking about her ethnicity. She said Joy was talking about the way that she spoke and the way that she pronounced words and things of that nature, where she was being, disingenuous and mean to her. Then she talks about how Charlie was trying to get rid of her and that Skip was the main reason that was protecting her the whole time. And then it ends with Skip having his last day. She ends up going to his car with her because she says that he tries to ask her to go to the car multiple times. She goes to the car. This big fight between Skip and Charlie happens, a verbal altercation, of course. They go back and forth. Skip's like, fuck you, Charlie. And then, and then he ends up leaving. He kind of tells her oh, I'm going to protect you and all this other stuff. And basically after all that, she loses her job because of that. Once Skip's out the door and he gets fired. So then that's where the lawsuit comes in. I'm trying to tell you, when that shit was so detailed that you go through it.
Extremely.
And she made a good reason to call out, make sure a lot of people she called out. This is what we also forgot. She talked about Joy having another relationship. She was sleeping, apparently she was allegedly sleeping with Emmanuel Acho to get on this show called Speak. And then that's where Faraji was telling her, like, hey, I don't think it's a good idea you sleeping with these two guys at the same time. Joy then goes and says, if anything goes wrong with Charlie, I'm just going to say he forced himself on me.
Fuck. Hate that.
That's the craziest part of this whole thing when it comes to Joy, is that she was willing to do that.
Yeah.
And it was just nuts. I do want to say shout out.
I feel like she could still get that shit off for real.
I mean, but we're going to get into that in just a moment. But I also want to say shout out to Colin Cowherd, who did not give any kind of negative statements in this. Actually, he was described as being a gentleman and a professional. That's my guy.
Shannon.
Yeah, Shannon too. Oh, that's what we forgot to do. She thought he was fucking Shannon. Skip thought she was fucking Shannon.
And he was mad about that.
And that's what started a lot of the beef between them.
He was like, you getting that long black dick and I'm upset because you're not taking mine.
And what she revealed is that information came from Charlie. That Charlie had told Skip that Shannon and her was having sex.
Why y'all so messy over there? Like, that's a very toxic work environment.
It was
that's
very
not
crazy.
Normal.
That's nuts. It's like if everything she says in this
maybe
court
it
case
is
is
normal.
true.
All the men I work with are gay.
I'm gonna say
they're not even all gay. That's crazy. My bad.
If anything that she said is all that is wild. If anything that if all this that she's reporting in here is true, this is the sickest work environment you've ever been in.
Yeah, that's like
I've never had any experience like
that's
this.
like a reality show.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like just talking about like people were going on out with scant clothing on and trying to seduce other people to get on the show, because that's what the main thing she said about Joy.
If Joy was really sucking and fucking as much as this lawsuit alleges, I fear it's going to set women in sports back so much. Like,
well, let's get into that then. So let's talk about that first. So what do you think about fraternizing with like co-workers and stuff?
I think it's a horrible idea.
I think
it's a terrible idea.
It's so dumb.
Yeah, because
especially for a man.
Because y'all are going to be at that job longer than y'all are going to be in that relationship or doing that situationship or whatever y'all are doing. And then it's just going to be awkward.
Like I have friends who will talk about like sleeping with girls they work with and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, that's the dumbest thing in the world.
Have you ever slept with somebody you've worked with?
Never.
I have.
All I ever done was mess with girls who, that's gross.
Yeah, but like,
I mean,
you know,
tell the story. But no,
it was extremely awkward because we kept working after the thing was done.
I can imagine.
He got fired. Thank fucking God.
I wouldn't want to see somebody like that often. But two, I have always had an adage where I don't lay my meat where I make my bread. So I never wanted to do those things. Cross-contamination. What?
That's just like, I know that some version of that saying is a thing. Mm-hmm. But I don't like the sequence of words that just came out your mouth just now. I don't know.
It's just where, hey, you just don't want cross contamination. You don't put your meat where you make your bread.
It made me icky a little bit. I didn't like it. But continue.
You want me to lay
Get
my
your
meat?
shit off.
You want me to lay my meat where
Stop.
I make my
You
bread?
didn't have to say it a third time.
I'm asking you, do you want me to
no,
do that?
stop saying it.
But no, so I've never been into that. Like I've always told guys, and my own personal action was like, date their friends and sisters. Like, don't date them. Like that's the craziest thing you could do.
How do I even know my coworkers' friends and sisters? That's my coworker.
Well, see, when I used to work, when I was in Texas, I used to work retail, and so like we had folks who worked with us, and then this one girl's sister used to always pick her up. So that's how I saw her.
Okay, well, when you're an adult and you work with adults.
I remember I pulled her to the side. I was like, yo, what's up with your sister? Yo, like, she all right? Like,
I almost punched you in the face just now. I really
She was
did.
like, oh, you like her? I was like, I mean, she cute. She's like, oh, okay, I'll give you your number. Give me your number. I'll give it to her.
We can both stop telling stories about our past.
Oh, yeah, see, doesn't it feel good?
No,
you
it
don't like
doesn't.
that?
I don't like that.
That didn't make you feel
I
good?
almost domestic violence you.
In front of everybody?
In front of everybody.
That's crazy.
And you could have kept it in.
I probably would have cut it out. I would have responded. That's why. All right,
Not
so
us both doing domestic violence.
back to this. So you said that you're not cool with that. So what do you think about women who sleep their way to the top then? Or attempt to? I
feel iffy about it because you're obviously taking away from the women who work hard and like,
or the people in general.
I don't care about the people. I care about the women.
Oh, continue.
So my promise for 2025 is being fulfilled. It's taking away from the women who work hard to get to where they're at. And I feel like if you're going to sleep your way to the top, don't get caught. That's the main thing. We can't know that you sucked and fucked your way to the top, or else it's going to set feminism back. So like it's if you sucked and fucked to get 2 steps forward and we found out, it takes us 12 steps back. So like you have to be very methodical about doing that shit. And then the other side of the coin is like, I wish I was, my morals were like that, because I'd be much higher. Much higher.
I appreciate that you have morals. I appreciate it.
I don't.
Would you?
My morals get in the way of my success on a regular basis.
I appreciate that you have morals. That's what I said.
Well, I don't appreciate it.
Oh, that you don't. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said you don't have morals.
No, I don't appreciate it.
Well, I do. I'm glad you do.
Yeah.
Continue with those.
They get in the way of my success on a regular basis. I could have sucked and fucked my way to the top mad long ago. I could have been at the top of something.
See, the thing about it is, I think y'all look up at it at a particular way, but it only ends one of 2 ways. You're either pushed to the side because you know he has no use of you, or you're in a lawsuit with him. Because yeah, you can rise, but at some particular point, he's gonna want something new around.
This is why I said, do it and don't get caught. Because
saying,
why would you?
But I'm saying, listen to this. When you say don't get caught, that it won't matter if you get caught if he just wants to do something new now. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're no longer the one he wants to play with.
You still got that on your resume though. Like if I worked top at this company and nobody knows I sucked and fucked my way to the top, can't I just technically?
You could hope, but it's not guaranteed. There's plenty of people who get fired from these guys
and then never work again.
They don't go to the other competition. They'll go to maybe somebody lower, make less, or go independent, and then potentially maybe able to work their way back up. But it's very rare, unless you're a big time talent like a Skip, Shannon, that you get fired and then somebody else automatically picks you back up. So that's what I'm saying, where it gets kind of iffy, especially in that realm.
Yeah, I don't think she would be somebody who would automatically get picked back up, but she could eventually bootstrap her way back into the position that she was in. But now everyone knows that you sucked and fucked, so there's that option is gone.
Yeah, I think for Joy now,
that's
moving forward, she's going to have to like probably. I was making a joke the other day. She might have to do like the Mark My Hill route and get on like a podcast like Joe or somebody else who's kind of semi-popular.
Where did he come from? Where?
Mark Lamont Hill?
Yeah,
he was on Fox and
fall
CNN.
From grace?
Well, it was recently with CNN and Al Jazeera because he said the whole River to the Sea thing.
Yeah,
and so he essentially picked a side against the popular media, and so they called him like you're a terrorist supporter, sympathist, all that kind of stuff. But no, it's funny how that's the same thing. Like being a terrorist sympathizer and being a hoe, it's the same thing in people's eyes. That's fucking.
It's
funny.
not, but like the reaction is too similar.
Yeah, I mean,
similar.
You're going to get the same kind of pushback. So I don't think Joy's probably going to recover from this in the way that people think. Because if this lawsuit goes down, this is what I want to say.
I don't think anybody thinks she's going to recover from this.
Well, the reason why I say that is because Fox is known of throwing people under the bus.
Yeah.
When the fire gets too hot, Bill O'Reilly, they didn't even fire Bill O'Reilly because of his sexual assault allegations, because he had plenty of them. He had some dating back to like 2004 and they didn't get rid of him. They got rid of him once the pressure from advertisers got there. Mm-hmm. Then you also add like Glenn Beck was another person they had on their Fox who got kicked off because of his crazy takes and views. Who else? Tucker Carlson. He got kicked off. So what they'll do is, and like I said, the sexual assault thing is rampant at Fox. Like that's nothing new when it comes to this whole company. And people, I guess when they see the FS1, they forget that this is a Fox News production. They don't realize that. And this is what this company will pick the people who they need to. They'll try probably not to get rid of Charlie if they can hope. More than likely they probably will, because they're going to need sacrificial lambs. But they don't mind doing that. And if I want to get into my conspiracy bag, people keep trying to say Shannon has something to do with this. I don't think so. I think Colin did. And you want to know why?
Why?
Because when Charlie came there, he fought and changed a lot of the dynamic that was going on that Colin was building over there. Colin, who when he started the volume, he's been talking about this kind of like, you know, if you listen between the lines, how he's wanting to become more of an executive up in this field and being part of a company, working, being part of the team. That's always been kind of like his narratives. So what I think here is going on, he's trying to get Charlie out of there. So he empowered Shawty, told her, hey, take this lawsuit in, get rid of this guy, because remember how I always told you when you one of the top people at your jobs, you always in renegotiation mode. Mm-hmm. He's also in renegotiation for his contract. So I could definitely see them trying to get him out, get Charlie out with this lawsuit. Skip's already gone, so he doesn't have his cash cow to defend Charlie. And now get him out, and now Colin can step in, be a big time executive, and now run FS1 like he's doing with the volume. Absorb all that back in there, and now you got this big production.
That doesn't sound wild. Like that could be a thing.
And then Nick Wright, who my man is, Colin's like right hand. That's his boy.
Let's get Nick Wright on everybody's big screens. I like the guy.
Yeah, so I mean, I see this is where I think the play is.
I like him, his son, his daughter.
I think they're working in conjunction to get the regime out of Fox so that Colin and his people can take over and do their thing the way they see fit. So I think it's gonna be interesting. I want to see how this plays out more. I feel bad for all the people involved. Could you imagine, like, if like somebody told you I offered a woman like $1.5 million
divorce?
So you're not gonna try to
divorce.
You're not gonna see something going on.
Divorce.
Yo, if my thing is,
I don't give a fuck.
This is
what's going on with you internally, emotionally.
That's fucked up.
I don't give a fuck.
That's fucked up.
I honestly, that's messed up.
So just think about this. Hold on. If I have the capability of giving 1.5 to a woman for anything, right? That means we got a lot of bread. So you wouldn't come to me and just be like, yo, what is wrong? Like, why do you think pussy is worth this much?
No, I'm going to take advantage of your obviously deteriorating mental state, and I'm going to take as much money as I can from you in the divorce, and then I'm going to go be free and happy.
Why wouldn't you want to help me?
I don't, because you offered a woman 1.5 for some box.
Obviously, I'm sick. I need you. That's when I need my wife.
No, when
I'm offering 1.5 for the pussy is when I need my wife.
You gonna need your mama, because me is not the person that you gonna need.
You supposed to hold me down.
I'm not holding shit down. I'm gonna hold you down till you drown.
No, you supposed to hold me down in my time of need.
That is not the type of bitch
This
I
is
am.
like
I'm
you supposed
sorry.
to like double down with a nigga. Like you supposed to grab my hand and say we in here to win it.
No, I'm gonna cut and skip.
That's sick, man. Well, we wish the best for everybody at FSN1 and FS1.
FS1, yeah.
And so we just got to get into this too. Since we're talking about the cuts and the splits, we'll stay in a little bit of the sports realm.
Oh my God, boo.
Naomi Osaka, she made an announcement.
Yeah, she made an announcement. She said that her and Corday are not together anymore, and that she's lucky that they cross paths, but now they're just co-parenting.
That's like how do you have a baby with a nigga and then just say I'm happy we cross paths? That's not crossing paths. He came inside you.
Well, obviously the interaction was not merely them crossing paths, but she's glad she met him for everything after to have been able to happen. I saw a bunch of people saying that, oh, how she just saying she happy they crossed paths, she's minimizing the relationship.
That is.
But have you not read books? Like crossing paths is always like the chance. Mm-hmm. I'm glad the chance that we came into each other's lives was able to happen for everything after to also happen. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like it's the willful ignorance of the internet.
I don't just
picking that shit. Like, we can have so many other conversations around this that matter, but her saying cross paths and people hyper focusing on that is so stupid to me. Like, I saw the comments about that and I was like, oh, y'all are stupid to me.
I mean, Adam 22 said that same exact.
Adam 22 is a fucking dick bag.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that happens.
He is not the top of like who we're basing things off of.
I was just saying he said what you said. That's all.
Okay, I thought you were saying he
said the part about the crossing
My bad.
paths. That's all.
My
He
bad.
was making that comment about them
bad.
minimizing
He's still a
relationship.
dickbag.
Yeah, I mean, cool. But he was just saying that she felt like he felt the same way they were minimizing relationship. I kind of feel that. way
Okay,
too,
then yeah, I walk that back. That's what I said.
Well, I feel
She
like
was saying he was,
and I feel like that there's some agreement to that. Like, we got to kind of think of it like this, bro. Like, just imagine this is your girl, your daughter. You done did all this for her to be this Olympic tennis all-star, super professional, and now she a baby mama to a
I'm
rapper.
wildly disappointed.
How could you not be? How could you not be?
Is she?
She
Still
didn't have to
playing?
do this.
She's not playing anymore, is
Yeah,
she?
she's pretty much done now. I don't think she can kind of take the heat that comes with playing at that level anymore. She made a lot of money, so she's good.
Well, she was done before she had the baby, right? Because she went through all of the media stuff, and she said that like
I think she was done before she had the baby, so she was already.
So we can't say that she threw away her career.
No,
because
you can't. She was going to be an all-time great. She continued on her trajectory. She was going to be an all-time great.
But we just said that she had stopped playing tennis before she had the baby because of the scrutiny and everything that came with the fame that she was getting.
Well, let's say this: she hasn't stopped playing tennis. She's taken a break. She hasn't returned back to competition.
That's what I was asking you. Like, is she?
She hasn't retired. I don't believe she has.
Okay,
I don't think she's retired.
In my like, I haven't seen her playing mad long. She wasn't in the last Olympics, so like, I'm confused as to like what she's doing with her career. Last time I checked in on her career wise, she mentally could not handle the scrutiny and everything that came with the fame that came with her being that good. So I thought maybe she just decided to fully take a step back altogether.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it seems like. Because I remember even when she was like selling the bikinis and all that stuff, she had posted a picture in them, and everybody was like, I was, sexualizing her in the pictures. But she deleted those quick. Like, after all the attention she was getting from it, like, she was just, oh no, people can't see this. So I could definitely see where she just is not with the world looking at me. And to me, I saw this pretty much going to happen with their relationship. It didn't seem like it was really built on anything like a real foundation with them. It seemed like they just vibed with each other. It
doesn't matter like personality wise what was going on and blah, blah, blah. They were young.
Yeah, that too.
Like, you're rarely ever are you with the person for the rest of your life that you were with when you were like fucking 21, 22 years old. So like, based off that alone, we knew that they weren't gonna like last for the long haul. Especially people who have that type of money too, like they usually don't. Like, there were multiple factors which like a regular person who has a brain could assume that they were not going to be together forever.
Do you think it was an ego thing? Let's just speculate on why they ended. Do you think it was an ego thing in regards to maybe him?
No, because she hasn't been in these conversations for so long that like
it doesn't matter.
As far as like an ego thing, I'm thinking of like if it was my ego, right? Maybe if in the beginning I thought that like you better than me and blah 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 and you get more recognition, you make more money, but then eventually like that stopped happening very quickly. So
I don't think so. You think that there's still a point where he's making more than her?
I don't think so. But as far as notoriety and recognition goes,
it's not. He doesn't hold a candle to her.
Yeah, but I don't think people have been talking about her that much because she hasn't been competing.
Well, that doesn't have to be talking about it. We together. So if we in a relationship, we go in the rooms, and every time we go in the rooms, everybody's talking to you, speaking to you, and they looking at me.
She still has the more recognizable face.
She has way more cash.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I can see where do we think like it was maybe like an ego cheat or like what do you? Because you listen to his music, right? You like Corday, right?
I listened to his first album.
Oh, you're not a big fan of his music?
Yeah, I don't. It's just like I've experienced with him. I don't think I've ever followed him on social media or anything like that.
Okay, so that's why to me it just seems as though just from the people I've seen him around, like the YBN niggas or whatever that was, this group that he was part of.
Is that YBN?
It was something like that, or YNB or something like that.
I think it's
those.
YNB.
Yeah, those guys. I could just see what the other two are doing and getting into. He can't be too far from that tree, so that's why I was just thinking maybe that could have been the demise of their relationship. But we wish y'all the best. Always.
Yeah, he's dropped 2 albums.
Let's talk about a woman who got the ring before the baby. All right, shout out to Zendaya and one of my favorite actors and just overall human beings.
I wish I had my ring on right now, but it's being repaired. So I don't, but I'd be like, right now.
That's how she was. Did you see them interviews she was doing?
Yeah, she was
showing that rock off.
It's a big ass rock and it's beautiful.
Yeah, he's fucking rich as fuck.
That, but also it's a very like it's a whimsical, like well designed ring. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, Tom Holland's one of my favorite people. I'm glad to see them kind of, tie the knot in their situation because he's just such a good dude. Like I remember I was reading an interview of his and he was like, sometimes I wish I could just like take my money, like whatever I have, stop acting and just like buy like a little apartment complex and like charge cheap rent.
You could.
No, he was just saying like he was going to just stop everything and do it.
No, because that
he still has passions and goals that he wants to reach. So I can see where I'm still focused on those things.
No, but he doesn't have to stop acting to provide provide one
housing.
building of affordable housing, nigga.
Can you just let me get the shit off?
No, because this is what you would be saying to me if I was saying the story that you were saying.
You didn't let me get finished off yet. You're right. He could still do that. He probably will do that one day.
Right now was a good time.
He's just focused on, trying to
right
live
now was
his
a
life.
good time.
I can't get mad at him.
You have multiple assistants. Do it now. Tom Holland, do it now.
Tom, no pressure, man.
Pressure.
Go on your time.
The world is burning. Do it right now.
It's just California.
If you have an idea, no, the entire world is burning. If you have an idea and it's good and you have the money and you're like, oh, I should do it. Do it now. Go ahead, though.
So, but everybody was kind of just having that discussion because there was this tweet that talked about the women saying, hey, she got the ring before the baby. So do you think this is going to be a moniker that more women will follow? Or do you feel like, nah, this is an anomaly?
For women to follow it, it would have to be up to us when we get engaged. But it's not fucking up to us. So nothing will change because it's still up to the men. And the men are not proposing because Tom Holland proposed to Zendaya and one bitch tweeted, oh, look how she got the ring before the baby.
I mean, I could understand why Tom wouldn't be an example for other people. Look how he gets shit on every time they together because he's shorter than her and all that other stuff. So he doesn't get that's why it's kind of just, you got to kind of commend him too. Like even him being with her in a way is kind of like a reflection of his character because in Hollywood, he could get with a white girl and probably jettison his profile even more than he is because she's popular, but just imagine he got with a white girl of a similar popularity of Zendaya.
Like a Sabrina Carpenter.
Something like that.
Something like that.
That would push him through the roof. So you kind of can tell even through that, like you say, even you made your joke about him, but even through that, you can tell that speaks to a little bit of his genuineness. I don't want to say like, look at him pitying the black girl. And it's nothing like that. It's just, it shows that he's thinking about something more outside than just what people are expecting from him. Because who looks the British
I'm not
kid?
about to give you points because you dating a black woman.
I mean, she's not really black though. Her mom's white. So
I'm not about to give you points for that regardless though. So I don't know what to tell you.
Well, we appreciate y'all and we kind of hope to see the next Spider-Man movie. Hopefully y'all both back in it. That's gonna be dope.
I think they're filming.
Yeah,
they are both back in it. They're filming two movies together in 2025. So okay. I don't know what the second one is, but one of them is definitely Spider-Man.
Yeah, you did a good job, man. Because them Doom movies, she was getting really close to Timothy Chalamet. So you made a smart move.
Well, Timothy is technically like with Kylie.
Timothy fucking anything, yo. Timothy laying dick.
Have you seen the TikTok videos of Timothy when he was younger?
Twinked up, super twink.
No, he was
twinky.
Yeah, but he was in like triple XL large tees at the talent show doing "Let me get him, shoot, let me get him." Like this now shoot out. Hey, that's what he was doing at the talent shows at the all white like triple like this.
He was wearing a costume.
It was a costume, but it was really hilarious to see. Like he was doing it.
Oh my goodness.
It was so funny.
All right, so we got to get into some was a little bit more sports related, a little bit. It's Shaq and Dwight. It's Shaq and Dwight.
Go introduce the thing.
Shaq was on. Well, Dwight was on the what is that man's name? It's like Dan something or Ray Cash or something like that. I think that's his name. I thought you watched it too. I thought you seen the clip.
Sports thing?
No, I thought you seen the clip where Dwight was on it.
Oh no, I don't get clips of sports niggas.
Ray Daniels, that's who he's with.
Saying words.
He was on the Ray Daniels podcast. And so he was talking about a lot of different things. He talked a little bit about his baby mama, Royce, and all the stuff.
I saw Royce come out because whatever her NDA has obviously
ran out.
So she put out like a 5-6 minute story of like all of the bullshit that she's been through with Dwight and like her son and stuff like that, and it was heart-wrenching.
No, I can imagine. I mean, if you just listening to like kind of what's been said and talked about with Dwight Howard, you can see that his character can kind of come into question. A lot of the information that you may see may make you think he's a sexual deviant.
Royce's story has been consistent for decades. Like she's been telling people the same shit, singing the same song for mad long.
Cause I remember when she was on Basketball Wives, how she had like she couldn't say his name or bring him up or had a kid on and all that stuff. And then if you do any more research, you find out what was going on with their kid and what happened with her boyfriend's kid and their son.
And how he would be like calling her, every person that she was ever with, he would be calling to threaten him. Like she could not live her life or move on whatsoever.
Yeah, because they had a part there where he was talking about he was giving like $60,000 a month or something like that for the child support and talking about how much she was getting and what she did or didn't do with it. And I'm just like, Dwight, I understand that you can have some like, hang-ups about that, especially when you're dealing out that much cash. I can understand where you have a large expectation like, hey, you got to handle this because you don't have to worry about anything else. And if she's not playing on your time frame and your role, then I can understand, maybe not, being as forthcoming with her.
Homophobia in the black community is very bad.
We didn't even get to
Dwight
the gay shit yet.
Dwight is obviously just a gay fucking man who has to deal with women. Or that, no, I feel like he fully hates women. I feel like he's a fully gay man who just hates women and he be having children with them and then he be taking out his
aggression
on the women that he be with, because bitch, I don't want to be with you. I want dick. I'd be mad too. See, like if I wanted a woman, but then I had to marry you after a while, I would be aggressive towards you too.
You already
and it wouldn't even be your fault.
You already are. So I mean, maybe that's coming to light. But
I do not want no pussy.
No, what else I was going to bring up with Dwight. The thing with Dwight too, though, is if you look at his history, you break everything down. You you can bring up the gay stuff. You can bring up all the different baby mamas, the multiple baby mamas. To me, my theory about him has always been like he got into the league when he was young. He was in the Christian school, all that other stuff coming up. He didn't. I don't believe he experienced as much that he did once he got into the league, and he indulged in it so much that it just became regular everyday to him, and now he's experimenting. I think that's what happened. People think I'm weird when I say this. I think you can fuck yourself out of not liking women. Like it can be such an easy and accessible thing that it does nothing for you anymore. Like
I don't think I have anything in a reply for that.
You can just look at just other people who have been involved in these things. Think about Diddy. You have this access to women like no other. It to the point where
now you want men?
No, it's just to the point where it's nothing now. Like to go out, pick up some girls, have sex with them, it's nothing because you who you are and what happens is going to happen.
But if you can have the women do anything, wouldn't you still want them to be women if you're a straight man?
Well, part of a large thing that women don't really understand, and the guys they're not going to openly agree with me when I say this, is that part of it is the chase when you go after the woman. The fact of that you having to do things to make yourself appealing to her. Mm-hmm. You actually have to try. You have to, and it doesn't happen every time. So I mean, I could do all X, Y, and Z and not come back with the prize. Mm-hmm. But if I can go out in some sweatpants in the club with a sweatpants and some t-shirts on, no jewelry, and I'm just in the club and people know who I am, and I can leave in the club every time with 2 to 3 girls. You don't think that's going to get tiring after doing it for 15 years?
Yeah, 100%.
So that's what I'm saying.
Anything gets tiring after.
So yeah, so I can see now where
years. You got to switch it up.
The thing about this now that is may not be the chase with the guys for them, but it's the taboo. It's the keeping the secret. It's hiding over here and hiding. Now that makes it more exciting for them. So I mean that I can understand for that. But we'll get into some more what was going on. What he said. He's spoken to about Shaq though. And this ended up waking up the beef again. So if y'all not familiar, Shaq and Dwight have had a long beef between each other, largely because Shaq, he was drafted by Orlando Magic, and so was Dwight Howard. When Dwight was in the dunk contest, he adopted the Superman emblem, and that was what Shaq used to go by as well. And he just it was always talked about that Dwight Howard was going to be the next Shaq or take over his spot. And he, always felt challenged by that. They both play the same position.
But is he a big enough man?
Who, Dwight?
Yeah.
Dwight was a super athletic freak. He's not as tall as Shaq.
Yeah, I feel like for you to be a Shaq replacement, you have to be a big man. Like you have to be a freakishly big man.
Dwight is huge, especially when he was coming
just
up.
like on par or bigger than Shaq.
Yeah, Shaq. If you look at Shaq when he first came into the league, Dwight looked like that his entire career for the most part.
Okay, because Shaq was superior because
he was just a dominant force.
Physically, like there was nothing you could do about him, right?
Yeah.
Is that the same? Like
for the most part, yes.
When you think about Dwight's game, is it the same thing? Like you physically cannot do anything about him?
For when he was playing, yeah, niggas couldn't physically do shit with Dwight.
Okay.
Dwight.
Okay.
What held Dwight back was Dwight. It was him not going aggressive or going hard. That was the only thing that affected him.
Okay.
Nobody was stopping Dwight.
Okay.
But so it gets kind of funny because they go back and forth with all of these tweets. I want to read a little bit of Shaq's tweet. I'm gonna read it in my Shaq voice too.
Oh my God! Please don't. It's gonna take forever because Shaq reads slow as fuck.
What are you talking about, Fair? I've never been a slow reader ever in my life.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. My ADHD does not allow for you to do Shaq's voice.
Dwight Howard.
Oh my God! Fuck.
The fact you think I care about you is funny, but I won't ever bring your name up again. Sensitive big man, a jokester that can't take a joke. Won't ever say your name again. Ever again. Have a great day. Now you've been deleted. Have a great day. Then he started doing all these crazy hashtags. He did like 6 hashtags.
Well, nah, read the hashtags because I need to know what his old ass hashtagged after that.
I never cared. Hashtag trust me.
Those aren't hashtags.
And then Dwight was like, I know you care. He started calling him insecure and all this other shit. Talk about how he was jealous of Kobe and all that. And then Shaq comes back. Still don't care. Nice move. I see what you're doing. Your legacy is your new podcast. That's how you'll be remembered. You need views. Damn, I taught you well. Great job. Hall of Fame podcaster. And still don't care. You need to sit down. You need my validation. I don't need yours.
Are these all hashtags?
No, this is Shaq.
These all sound like hashtags.
How will you be remembered? Think about that podcast, boy.
Okay, are there periods after each of these?
I have an empire to run. Now leave me, son. I think he's trying to rap a little bit, right? I've been talking 20 years. Now you want to squabble at 50. Well, I decline. I'm too old. Again, nice move. Love you, son. Take care of your kids. Hashtag take care of your kids. Hashtag take care of your family. Hashtag you're not a Hall of Famer yet.
That's hilarious. Shaq is hilarious.
Disrespectful.
Let me see it though. Let me see it.
Shaq is disrespectful as fuck. But this has been going on for years. Shaq has been disrespecting the big men amongst his group for years. But this has been a history though. So like Shaq is just only doing what the niggas that was in front of him did. And that was bully the big men playing in the league. I can't be mad at it. Shaq was doing his thing, man. But Dwight's
okay, because
what?
I think you need to read with the punctuation because you kept putting pauses in there.
I was just reading it to be funny like Shaq.
Yeah, but that's not how he typed it.
Still don't care. That's how, if he was writing, he would have said still don't care, comma, or period.
No,
nice move.
no, still don't care. Nice move. Like, no, that's not.
Still don't care.
No.
That's how he would have did it. You never listen to Shaq, nigga. You don't know. But it was funny too. In this Ray Daniels, well, it wasn't funny, but it was very interesting. In this Ray Daniels interview, he talks about
when you're in the NBA, it's a lot of things that you want to say, that you could say, but you know if you say it, there's gonna be repercussions. You could get in a lot of trouble. For example, a couple years ago when I played for the Houston Rockets, I tweeted "Free Palestine," and I dang near got kicked out the league for it. And I'm like trying to figure out why. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, obviously, before that, I had the conversation.
So he goes into saying why that happened. He used to have meetups with people, with fans and stuff. And one of the fans asked him to say that. And, you know, that always stuck out to me because I thought that was the dopest shit he had ever did in his career. Was when he had tweeted that. And it was like unprovoked or whatever. Like it kind of just came out of nowhere and he just said it. And then just seeing him delete it, I knew why he deleted it. You know what I'm saying? But that was like my first time ever seeing a celebrity like do some type of quote unquote resistance, and then like immediately, especially on the internet, immediately like, nah, you got to pull that. You can't do that. That can't be seen anymore. So I know Dwight's a complicated individual. I do wish him the best. I hope he can get the help he needs. I mean, like, you don't want to hear any more about these kind of stories of assault victims, especially. You know, you don't want to do that to your fellow gay people. You know, don't hurt them. Be nice to them, you know?
Just be...
You're a big guy. You got to be gentle.
Just be a gay.
You got to get the wet platinum and be gentle, you know?
Just be gay. Like, it's okay.
Or he can like both. Let him like what he likes.
When I say gay, the LGBTQIA plus, it all falls under gay.
I don't think they like that. I don't think they like when you do that.
Right now, at this current moment, I don't give a fuck what they like.
So I got a lot of heat recently from a tweet that I sent out. It was about the beloved D Rose, Derrick Rose. So you know who D Rose is, right?
His jersey got retired recently, and he also started a flower shop.
Yep. So yeah, he recently retired. His jersey is going to get retired by the Chicago Bulls. And yes, you're right. He did start a flower shop.
Yeah.
So this is what I said. So they came out to the tweet. Let me pull it up here. And like I said, I got a lot of hate for this, which I may be rightfully so, but it had to be said. So It was the moment where they talk about him getting there. He's, emotional by his jersey going to Raptors. And this is what I say. Beating a sexual assault case after telling the court you don't know what consent is still the craziest thing in the world to me.
Yeah, that's crazy for you to say that.
Why? It is true. It's a thing that happened.
While this black man is being celebrated for his talents, his contribution to basketball, you were like, hey, remember when this nigga sexually assaulted somebody and got away with it? Yeah. This being an accomplishment is crazy because he sexually assaulted somebody and got away with it.
Yeah, when they're talking about the way that he was being an example and things of that nature. So yeah,
like 2 episodes ago, you remember when we were talking about that
Malika Andrews,
the female podcast, the female like
it's
sports anchor Malika, yeah,
Andrews.
And you specifically have vitriol for her because when somebody died, she brought up their sexual assault allegations.
So I want to disagree.
So
with that
how
point.
is it?
Hold on,
how
I want to disagree with that point that you said. I didn't have vitriol for her. I talked about you asked why was there criticism for the things that she said about disparaging about black men, and I brought up the criticisms that other people had with her. I actually had said I understood bringing it up. I also understood why people felt like it was a bad time.
If you understand why people felt like it was a bad time, then you can understand why people felt like this was a bad time and why you got so much engagement on it. Because at the same time, while this man is supposed to be being celebrated, you brought up sexual assault allegations, just like she did. Even though he died, this is a time after somebody's death, we celebrate them. So we're trying to celebrate this nigga, and she's trying to be like, oh, look at this. Remember this ugly side?
We're celebrating,
and that's the same thing. That's the same thing you did.
Yeah, but it's not. I would disagree because
I would agree.
Well, of course, you just said the statement, but but no, I was saying the reason why I disagree from that, for one, like you said, he did die. He was in his life. This person is being presented and shown as a role model.
He's being immortalized.
Yes, as a role model.
Yeah,
as somebody who's done good things. And when you go back and you read these court cases, and you excuse me, and they talk about how this man told the court case he didn't know what consent was. They also talk about how he was taking pictures with the jury after the case. They're like, hey, D Rose, can I get a pic real quick after I got you off? Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to have a problem with, I don't think justice was served correctly.
Regardless of like what actually happened, right? My thing is...
Hold on, can we just say what you just said? Regardless of the facts of the matter.
No, yeah,
okay.
Regardless.
Okay, I just want to make sure that was clear.
It's the reason why I'm comparing you to her is the the time that you did it. Somebody died. We're supposed to be celebrating his career. After somebody dies, you're supposed to like,
I don't agree with
you're supposed to like highlight the good things, right? So then she decided to point a flashlight into a dark, nasty, seedy corner, right? And people felt some type of way towards that. They had criticism for how she behaved in this man's death. So you could say that getting your flowers while you're alive is just as important as getting your flowers when you're dead. So while we're celebrating this black man, you decided to, just like this other reporter did, point the flashlight in this dark, nasty corner.
Yes,
for people to remember, like, regardless of anything else that this person did, like, it's important for you to remember this disgusting thing about their career. And I think it's just a little weird, and it's very haterish of you to do that. Just like you had judgments towards this woman for doing the same thing.
Again,
I think you fell within the same box. I genuinely did.
Again, I did. You keep saying I had judgment. I never said she was wrong for any of those things. I said people had criticism for that. My thing is this: when he died, he didn't go to court.
No, you said she was wrong for that.
No, I didn't. I didn't say she was wrong for that. I said that's what people were upset about her with. It wasn't timed right for people. But no, my thing is this: when you look at what I'm saying, the person died. He didn't go to court for anything. If he had died, like when Karl Malone dies, Utah Jazz power forward, I'm going to talk shit about what he did and how he was a shitty fuck. I'm going to bring that up in his death. But that's because
it's only valid if you bring it up bring it up now. What the fuck did he do?
I have brought it up.
Okay. My bad.
I've told you we've talked about it. Remember when we talked about Gilbert Arenas' show? Remember our biggest video clip?
Yeah.
We talked about Karl Malone then, where he slept with the girl that was 13 and had a kid, and he was 20 years old.
Okay.
We talked about that. We called him nasty man and all that. But no, when it comes to that, he didn't go to court and have his day in court for that. So for you to bring up the allegations when he didn't have his day in court, to me, is the real issue in bringing it up. He's had his day in court, and I've examined through reading the articles and what happened and occurred his day in court, and I have questions that if justice was served properly. And as someone who's had justice was served properly, I don't think if he was convicted of that, and then, granted it was a civil case, if he was convicted of that, they would not be doing what they're doing now, right? Do you feel like they would still be praising him the way they do if he had that civil case conviction and it was a big deal?
No.
So that's what I'm saying. So again, I feel like justice was not done right. And why is a nigga getting commemorated when you went last in the train? You the nigga, you was the number one pick and you going last in the train? What are we talking about? What kind of nigga is you?
Regardless of your social standing, if you're last in the train,
but no,
maybe you need to reconsider your you need to reconfigure everything about your life.
But baby, you last in the train and you the number one pick in the NBA draft, the youngest MVP ever, and you last in the train.
You need all new friends.
You need all new everything.
Yeah, all new friends, all new bitches. Because, first of all, if there's an NBA anything in the group of niggas that's trying to run the train is gone.
How you a 1%, half of a 1%?
That bitch is dumb. The train is gone. I'm fucking this one nigga.
Well, that's what she kind of said she was trying to come do, and then the assault.
But then how did you happen to be last?
Well, I'm saying that's what she said. The assault.
Oh, she was assaulted. Okay,
that's her allegations.
It's not a train then.
Well, in his story, they was having a train.
You can't call it a train if the woman was being...
his story, he wasn't raping her.
No, you can't call it a train in the story.
But in his story, he's not raping her.
The gang rape.
But in his story, he's not raping her. In his story, we're not raping her. It's a train. That's what I'm saying. In his story, he was last in the train.
Okay.
What kind of nigga is he? Last in the train?
If you last in the train, you're like the most peon, bottom of the barrel nigga. Like nobody wants you.
You the only MVP that was the last in the train.
If you're last in the gang rape, All of you niggas belong in jail. All of you niggas belong in jail.
Well, it was a civil case.
And
Nobody was going to jail.
then you're also like morally probably the shakiest nigga of all.
Yeah, if you're going last, and yeah, you're just vile shit.
You've heard the cries and screams the entire time and stayed hard.
Yeah, that's the 6 shit.
You're the like
I agree.
death penalty.
I agree.
Death penalty for the last nigga in the
He worse than the nigga in
non-consensual train. I'm gonna stop saying the two words that I was saying before because I feel like you can't say that. But
he worse than a nigga in Players Club.
in the non-consensual train, the last nigga should get the most jail time
Did you ever watch?
because you've had the most time to think about what the fuck you're doing.
Have you ever watched Players Club before?
Actually, no.
Okay, so you didn't get that statement that I said.
No.
That
was
I always would want to hear young like girls who saw that movie when they were young. What was their thought when they seen that
came
ending
out
scene?
when I was too young for me to like watch it when it came out, and then
well, you know what we talked about yesterday. There was nothing too young for me to watch. I seen this when I was a little boy.
yeah, like my parents were actually, and then like it's funny because when it came to like my family, my parents had the least guards on me as far as like what I could watch. This nigga was watching Jerry Springer at 6 years old, like
Getting it up, man. Going crazy. With me and my mama. My mom and I watched Players Club together.
that's crazy. That shouldn't have been a thing.
Yeah, I remember watching it at home. I remember when we got at Blockbuster and we watched it at the house and I'm watching the strippers.
That shouldn't have been a thing at all.
Why that bitch didn't go get financial aid? Like, I don't understand. You had a kid. You know how many financial aid points you get when you got a kid? And she wasn't even in like no crazy ass like.
Was she in college?
Yeah, she was in college. That's what she was stripping for.
Oh yeah, you
pay
would
for
have
college.
definitely gotten a lot.
She had a kid with financial aid would have been easy money.
A lot of those colleges had like childcare and stuff too.
Yeah.
So like
It was so funny that.
But I never
she did
watched
that.
Players Club, so I couldn't even tell you the plot.
There's a lot of bad logic in there.
Yeah.
So let's
What's
stay.
next, baby?
We got to talk about Drake, man. Drake dropped the diss. He's been alluding to a lot of things going on with LeBron James. He's upset, man.
Yeah, so I didn't listen to the freestyle. My bad. I should have because we on this podcast. But I
And
was
it's
like,
Drake.
that's why I shouldn't have.
That's eight. Continue.
I should have listened to it because we're trying to be media personalities, so I need to be caught up on things. But because it's Drake, like that's why I don't
That's
listen. So that can't be one of your reasons. But when I saw that Drake dropped something, I was like, it's probably like, oh, thought these niggas was gonna have my back, but they didn't. Niggas is snakes in the grass, and I didn't realize how many snakes were in the grass.
Niggas love magicians.
Yeah. And was that not the gist of the thing?
I liked it. That was good.
I didn't ask you if you liked it, but
Yeah, that was the gist. It was about, he was just talking about his niggas fell for the tricks.
Yeah,
Niggas he thought that was his people fell for the not like us.
This
and
nigga is wildly predictable.
They bought the tickets.
When I tell you, before I listened to it, Drake dropped a freestyle. I was like, this is what the freestyle is about. I didn't listen to it once. And I was right.
I got my father's habits and my mom's permission.
My mom was white and my daddy black and my daddy ain't shit and my mama was there. So now I love my white mama, and which is why I love white women and all things white.
That's his white baby mama white.
And all things white. Like,
So
and we not going like, I want to shit on him for his baby mama being white, but that was very obviously a mistake. Like,
but he
did
also
not
got her nose
mean-
done too. She looking badder than Whitney right now.
That was after she was his baby mom, and now she got a. My point is that was the accident, and he never meant for, regardless of who he meant for his baby mom to be, that bitch
Wasn't supposed to be her.
was not meant to be Drake's baby mother. Like, that was not the image that he wanted to present to everybody. He wanted to be a little light-skinned curly hair thing. He didn't want it to
He was waiting
be.
for Tyler.
Yes. He was literally waiting for Tyler. He didn't want it to be
Sophie.
his baby mother. Like, come on.
We know their names, Sophie.
I actually don't know her name.
That's
I know her as Drake's porn star baby mother.
It's Sophie. He didn't got her nose done. Shout out to him. But this is what it gets nasty with this whole diss, because there was a lot of talks about like tainting images. And then there was this fake tweet that went out that was saying Drake was talking to somebody about it and talking about, oh, what if Nike talked about LeBron cheating on his wife. And again, that was like I said, that was reported to be fake.
What are you talking about?
You didn't. I told you about this. There was a tweet that came out. I thought I just explained it. There was a tweet that came out.
No, that's what. I'm just like, that was my comment.
Oh, sorry. My bad. But no, so I'm listening to this, and again, that was fake, but I'm listening to where he talks about the image and, you know, a lot of the guys coming out, and I'm wondering, are we getting close to like LeBron getting exposed with his, you know, infidelities? Because we even got Yes Jules trying to act like, oh, I don't want no comments, stop bringing me up. Like she making the block hot. Mm-hmm. Do we think that could be something that we see in 2025, like the destruction of the greatest black man in history right now?
Everything that we hold dear is being destroyed, so LeBron is not
off the list.
Not he. Yeah,
I would be hurt.
I think he's up next.
I would be hurt if that happened
because
that's the only thing you could put on him is cheating right now.
They went after justifiably Diddy, then Jay-Z.
You can't put these guys with LeBron if LeBron
then
is just
Jay-Z,
cheating on his wife.
But I feel like you could put Jay-Z low key in that. Like we know Jay-Z was cheating on his wife, so he's not.
Okay, we could put him in that.
But like
they survived it. They got through it.
Yeah. So like I just feel like niggas have been gone after that we didn't think would be went after. Sorry for my vocabulary. But maybe LeBron is next. Like,
oh man, I hate that. I don't, like I said, I've been very high, I've spoken very highly of LeBron. I don't
toxic that I think Bronny is ruining his legacy by dating a white woman?
He's not dating a white woman.
What?
That girl is not white. I think, well, it depends on her mama's white. I don't know her mama white. But I think her mama's light skinned.
Okay, I thought that was a fully white woman. My bad.
No, there was a white woman that he went to prom with.
I take that back.
He went to white.
That's who I was thinking about.
Yeah, he didn't go to a white woman. He's not, his girlfriend is not a white woman. They actually just had a little post about that.
Okay.
They was talking about the girl he's dating right now.
But she's not
white.
She passes the paper bag test.
But she does pass the paper bag test, yes.
Like with flying colors. So I don't know.
What you expect that these niggas gonna do?
I try to not take light skinned people's blackness away because of this nigga right here.
He was my mom is black.
Both of your parents are fully black.
But I'm saying,
that's what I'm saying.
What validates my blackness is my mom being black.
Well, no, I'm saying that I tried not to take light-skinned black people's blackness away.
Oh, okay.
Because you look like you're not fully black, but you're fully black and you're light-skinned and black as fuck.
Okay, I'm just trying to make sure.
So I try not to take that away because, like,
I appreciate that.
You're nigga, you know.
You are crazy. Hopefully we don't have this LeBron exposed.
You know, fucking Dave Blunt's fell out.
He's gonna
and then blamed his fans on him being a fat, disgusting fuck. Blamed his fans on his health that he's been fucking disregarding for decades.
Hey man, Dave Blunt.
I don't like that nigga. My fat phobia is showing. I hate this nigga. I hate him so much. My God.
I've said this already. Dave Blunt is not here for a long time. He's here for
he's not here for the next year. He's not here for the rest of 2025. Right, every time he says Dave Blunt is not here for a long time, I'm like 2 years.
He's probably less than that. But let's finish up. We got a few more things we got to touch on. So Improper Improv is over. We did it. Bitch nigga.
Let's laugh at all three cameras real quick. Let's start. Let's start with the middle and then our separate ones and then go back to the middle. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Bitch. Fuck you.
Your weak ass
piece of round ass shit.
If y'all don't know,
gonna get momo.
About
my fuending. I'm done.
I mean, he understands that. So
no, that's why I said it.
Okay.
Because I'm ashamed that you're a fucking Haitian.
So if y'all don't know, if y'all haven't listened to our show, about a year and some change ago, we had an interaction with Flip where I instigated it.
Where he threatened to rape me.
And that's where it ended at. that he ended up taking it too far and going over there and implying that you were going
And
to
my
assault
mother.
wife.
I be leaving my mom out of it, but like that's what he said also.
He said my mom too.
Yeah.
And my dad. He was going to do a lot of stuff to and my grandma. He was going to do a lot of stuff to my family, Flip. But he ended up, according to, I didn't watch this, but nobody really watched the last few episodes.
One of my friends watched it.
But one of her friends watched it and told us that he apologized.
We didn't know he apologized until my friend Shem was like, did you see Flip apologize to you? And I was like, fucking, no, I don't consume that bitch's content ever. I never have. Like, I saw him yelling and abusing his son years ago on Instagram, and I was like, never again. So he was like, did you see that bitch apologize to you? And I was like, no, I didn't see that piece of shit apologize to me at all. And then I called my husband, and I was like, did you see this fucking peon apologize to us? And then he was like, no, I didn't see this pussy ass nigga apologize to us. And that was the conversation. And that's it. So I guess thank you for that, but still fuck you and fuck you forever.
Yeah, just put it in your pipe and smoke
And now your shit is done. So
yeah, you can just be back in the corner with Joe. So you don't got to worry about worrying about your own show no more.
You need to keep a very tight suction grip around Joe's dick with your mouth at this point.
That's what started the shit to begin with. You trying to wake it back up.
No, I didn't even try to do that.
The nigga got his dick in his mouth.
It wasn't, I didn't try. It was just a happy accident. It was a happy accident that it came full circle. You need to keep that suction grip around his dick because now that's the livelihood that you and your family are going to live off of. Make sure you keep enough spit on it. And make sure you use enough tongue and not that much teeth because Joseph, I'm sure will not like that, Flip. So yeah, that's the only advice I have for you moving forward, and maybe do some cardio, you fat fuck.
Hey, that's the game, my man. We don't got to accept your bullshit, but we appreciate you, at least thinking about doing it. We don't care for it, but it is what it is.
There's never anything that could be cordial after you threaten to rape my mother, his mother, and me. So you could suck a dick, and I'm praying on like an even more dramatic downfall. Like Improper Improv not continuing on.
It's not enough.
It's a drop in the bucket of what misery that I have been manifesting for you. And my manifesting skills are...
We got the dolls. We got the flip dolls.
My people don't play about me.
We got the flip dolls hanging up.
My people don't play about me.
So we can't tell them about the dolls?
My people, nothing needs to be said other than my people don't play about me. And we are people who do things the correct way. So the things that we need to be done are done.
Hey, you heard it right there.
And my people don't play about me.
You heard it right there. So
Improper
Improv.
A drop in the bucket of the misery that is to come for you in 2025.
So luckily we won't have to worry about that wasted 3 hours that you were putting on Joe's live. So we don't want to have to see any of that anymore. It's behind us.
Fuck your shit. Your shit is miserable and you're less than and you're not funny and you're not entertaining at all. You're a fucking crash out and you're pathetic and your content is lowbrow and is less than. And we've been saying this forever and now everyone knows because it's done. It's not even worth it to you and it was never worth it to us.
ISS crash out behavior, man. That's all you can call it.
Like what? You're special ed, not even ISS. Fully special ed.
I don't even think you could put it into special ed because I think special ed, like you got to be able to
night school.
It's like the people got to come to your house.
Night school special ed.
You got like the special people got to come to your house to make sure you can be educated.
Yeah, like
you can't even be around
lowbrow,
other kids,
bottom of the barrel bullshit, and that's what you are. And now we're done with you. Moving on.
So the Joe also had his situation. Like I said, we was talking about earlier how we had a better set than him for 2 weeks, but that didn't last long.
Not long at all.
Apparently
God
he was
damn
able.
It. We can't win with Joe.
Yeah, this is a mastermind right there. Man. I will have to say, man, Joe, the way that you able to maneuver out of these situations, I have to commend you, man. It takes a lot of skill, a lot of financial capital.
It does. It takes a lot of.
It's more capital.
It's capital. Yeah. It's power that comes behind like. I can circumvent these rules because from what I saw, I wasn't like we kind of did the conspiracy shit here, but that was just for clicks, for real. We saw Joe's thing about like him sleepwalking naked. So I was like, maybe he accidentally showed himself to some children or something like that, or was caught on camera naked sleepwalking in his building, and that's why he's not able to record there anymore. But then that would mean that like Joe records where he lives.
No, it doesn't. Because you can have if he got multiple houses,
or he at least sleeps there. Because why would you be sleepwalking naked in the building that just your studio is in?
He owns 2 condos there. That's why. So he owns 2 buildings there.
Okay. If it's in the same building, then that's completely understandable. So that I was like, his lawyers could easily go in medical records if this is something that he's been going through for a long time and prove that he was sleepwalking, and after that, it's not really that big of a deal.
Well, the thing was, the sleepwalking didn't really even come to play for what he said, because he kind of goes into everything. What was going on was he covered himself up when he was out there. So when you put your hands by your area, it can look like you're pleasuring yourself. So that's where lewdness comes in. So the lewdness.
The second thing that I thought was when he said that like they have to pay to record there. So those were the 2 things that I thought was happening. That's what I wanted to say. Either him sleepwalking naked or him having to pay more because like this is not a residential. This is a commercial apartment where you do like production.
No, this is a residential. That he's
doing,
okay. He was they were trying to use a rule of the city to actually get him to stop being able to film there.
Okay, that's what I came across.
That's what the main thing they were trying to stop him from doing was filming there, because they were like, you can't do business here. But when you're recording something, it's not the same kind of commerce as people coming in and out of an establishment. So that's probably one of the things he was used to circumvent it.
Okay.
But the main thing though with it is, like I said, was the fact that when you have a lewdness charge, it's about being naked, but in a sexual manner. And so if they're able to show that he wasn't, in a sexual manner, he wasn't gratifying himself, then you can kind of take the lewdness charge off. And then I don't really know if indecent exposure would then come into play if they wanted to continue to find a charge on him for just being naked in front of people. Like that's where it kind of got odd to me, where it was like indecent exposure seems to be way more fitting for it. But for some reason, the lewdness, I guess they were trying to show a track record of history between him and a neighbor, to say that he was trying to do that for a particular reason.
I feel like there was obviously like a neighbor or a couple that were trying to just get Joe the fuck up out of there. So they were just
that's what he tries to
consistently putting in complaints.
I don't think that it was that to that degree. I can understand where if you're having people, you're doing this podcast, you're having people come in and out, they're coming in with groups. Like we don't see, like when we watch the show, we just seeing what's in front of the cameras. We're not seeing all the people in the back room, all the people in the kitchen. Yeah. We don't see all the people on the balcony and stuff like that making noise, going in and out of the condo. And it's a lot of noise
for multiple hours a day. So imagine being the person who lives above or below
or
Joe.
right across. If it's like
right across. Or to the sides. Yeah. Matt, the whole 360 that's around you is inconvenienced by the multiple blocks of hours of noise that you make. And like I get it.
And then when they were filming Improper Improv there, they had animals and stuff coming in and bands.
There is where
when they first started, when he shitted on us, they was at Joe's condo.
See, like they need like a separate studio space.
But now they are. He bought another. They was in a flip space in the second season. So
okay,
it doesn't matter. The show's over with. So fuck that show.
Yeah, fuck y'all. Y'all upgraded and then it didn't matter because nobody wants to watch that bullshit in the first goddamn place. Y'all do nonsense. Fat fuck.
So we're going to talk about one more thing here. Jullian is no longer with the Rory and Mal podcast.
I did not even notice.
What do you mean you didn't notice? Because you wasn't listening?
I was listening, but it was like they didn't directly address it.
Yeah, it wasn't until last episode at the end where they.
Okay, because I haven't gotten to the end of that episode either.
Yeah, they
because
mentioned at the end.
I'm not like I'm a while I'm driving podcaster. Like I listen while I'm driving. If I'm not driving, I'm not listening. So I just thought that Jullian missed the last couple episodes. I'm just so curious as to why Jullian has left, because to me, as someone who has started listening more recently, maybe the last like 3 months, I can't say more than 3 months that I've been consistently listening to Rory and Mal. I do like Jullian and what he adds to the podcast. And I feel like there hasn't been any obvious, like glaring conflict that made it awkward for me as a listener. So I'm just like so confused.
I think it has to go into more of a history thing.
Yeah.
When you kind of have that discussion between Jullian. To me, I think with the last 2 episodes they had, it's been more than noticeable with him not being there. Like the one thing about that group when Jullian's not part of it is they can fall into being like status quo people. And they'll just run and start just regurgitating what everybody else is saying in the room. And Rory, he does have really good takes and can resist. But because he has that, I'm a guest here in this, like when he has that mindset about
because
culture,
he's a white man.
Yeah, he has that. So he doesn't.
And Rory, you should continue keeping that mind state forever. The whole time you're here.
That doesn't sound good on audio though. Like that just sounds, a white man say, oh yeah, but I agree with you black guys. That doesn't sound good. So
yeah,
that doesn't
but when niggas like
has
Ebro and Rosenberg have their own
opinions. Good argument,
opinions.
though. If he has a good argument, that's what should matter when you're listening to it. It doesn't matter anything else. But my problem is that what I want to get into is you see that there isn't anybody that breaks the monotony.
Yes.
And that's what he did on the show. He would break it up, and he would make Rory more comfortable of going outside of the out of the bounds of the thing that you just told him to do.
It's boring as fuck. Mal is, y'all know how I feel about Mal. Mal is like the old timey nigga state of mind. Like nothing he says makes sense. Once he's hell bent on a point, like there's nothing you can say to get him out of that. The last episode, he said, why do women wait until they're fired to report sexual assault? You should report sexual assault immediately. And I don't know why all women don't immediately report sexual assault. Like there's decades of nuance that he ignores on a regular basis. Right? And then Damaris, I was going to say, very easily gives up when she could, in my opinion, eat Mal up for fucking snack. Not breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You could eat him up as a snack if you wanted to, bitch. Because I feel like you might have that. But then she gives up so easily. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, she just be letting Mal have it.
Well, she did that especially on the last episode.
And then when she does that, I feel like Rory will be more inclined to also do that. So I agree with you. Jullian was the only person who would motivate niggas to stand behind their own opinion.
I don't think that he even stand by. He would actually make them have to rethink their own statements a lot of the times. Also, too, he felt like the only person that was actually reading a lot of the information. There would be times when the mayors would have, points here and there.
He was the person who kept everything organized, it felt like.
And one of the criticisms too I had with them is that like the show, they were already not knowledgeable about a lot of topics beforehand with 2 producers. So now you're getting rid of one producer, and he was the one who kind of, like I said, livened up the show. I get you don't want to get rid of Damaris because she's a girl, and even though to me she doesn't really say anything that's new.
That's crazy because you and Danny were praising her a couple months ago for being the best female podcaster out of all the podcasters.
But that doesn't, just because she's the best.
So how does it?
Listen.
We have a very low.
I'll explain. Yes, there's a low pool of people to pull from. She has the energy, and again, that mix, when you add Jullian, Rory, and Mal into all the equations, she's able to shine. But when you take away somebody like Jullian,
I do think she shines less when Jullian's not there.
Yeah, because when you take away from Julian's going to say the stuff that's going to trigger her. That's going to make her react. That's going to make her just act and do the stuff that she tries to say she's not. You know what I'm saying?
I genuinely want to know from Julian's mouth why he decided to leave on his own. Like, I'm genuinely so interested in that.
Well, he hasn't revealed it yet. Danny thinks it has something to do with some money. I don't think so. What I've seen of Jullian, he says that he comes from a privileged home. So I don't expect that he has something going on where it's like, oh, it's about
regardless
money.
Of that, though, I just feel like I wouldn't think that I would want Rory and Mal to be taking advantage of their co-host after they left the Joe Budden podcast because they weren't appreciated or
what do you mean take advantage?
Well, not taking advantage, but like Joe didn't want to pay them, or he didn't want to be transparent with the finances. So,
but that's what I'm saying. I don't think it has
anything having
to
do with finances with the Rory and Mal podcast. If anybody is leaving because of anything having to do with finances from their podcast, it's not going to look good for them, because this is something that started because of there was lack of transparency.
That's what I don't think it had anything to do with finances. I don't think Jullian cares about making $1 on the day-to-day with the podcast. I think his parents have do really well for themselves. His brother is in the politics and stuff like that. I don't think he wants that. I think it has something to do with content, about how we're going to grow the show. And I think Mal was a big proponent of the resistance in that.
I agree with you with more on Mal being
like the thing about what I see with Mal is, and I actually had worked with someone like that before in a similar podcast project, where it's like he's somebody who can tear down trees. He can cut trees, but he can't grow anything. So you can go down and tear down everybody's ideas.
You about to have to bleep these names out that I'm about to guess. But was that Dubba Kiwan?
It was neither one of them.
Ooh, who was it?
I'll tell you afterwards. But
oh my God, T! Because why were both of my guesses wrong?
Because they two weren't even really on the show. They just came and helped.
Oh no! I didn't mean. Okay, when I said Dub, I meant. Fuck, I forgot his name. The tiny man.
No, it wasn't him either.
Oh fuck! Then yeah, I have no idea.
But no, so I've been with someone who they have every criticism in the world, but then when you tell them, hey, put the seeds in your hand, grab the water, and grow something, they can't grow that, and that's frustrating, especially as a producer working with somebody like that, because you can't get anywhere. Because all you do is tear things down, and you never come with anything and the steps that we need to grow us more.
Like, okay, fucking Wreck-It Ralph.
I mean, that's to me.
Like, that's all
you
know how to do.
So that's where I can see where that can get annoying. Where I'm bringing ideas and there's never not anything good, and then when you try to talk about the things you want, you're vague, you're not decisive, and then you get frustrated when people challenge you and try to make you explain what you're talking about. And I think that's a large part of that Rockefeller type of ideology comes from just espousing vague talking points and then expecting an outcome from them.
Yeah.
So that's where that kind of comes. I feel bad for him. Like I said, he talked about on his IG subscription thing where he talks about focusing on himself and how he didn't like that they only gave him like a 20-second shout out at the end of the show. So I mean, it seems like there's some bad blood going on. Rory was literally the only one who talked about Jullian.
No, I do think that y'all need to get Jullian back, honestly. I think he was a good part of the podcast. I think y'all dynamic was made more interesting by him. Just like how I think I stopped listening to the Joe Budden podcast for probably like 2 years until like maybe a couple weeks ago, because Rory was gone and the like complex, interesting, thought-provoking voice in the group was gone. And I'm still going to listen to Rory and Mal now. I stopped listening to Joe Budden podcast because Rory and Mal had left. I'm still going to listen to Rory and Mal now because Rory is still there. And I hate, again, you have heard me say this multiple times, I hate the fact that the white man is my favorite. But like, he is my favorite. He was my favorite on Joe Budden podcast. He's still my favorite on Rory and Mal. Jullian is also even though like he's probably speaks the least, when he does speak, it's very impactful. So y'all need to value that and make it work, because Joe made the same mistake on not valuing and making it work with y'all's voices. So I wish that you would do the same for Jullian, because I do miss him and I do feel an impact, and I don't enjoy it as much as I did when he was there, even though he doesn't speak, even though he speaks the least, even though like out of a 2-hour podcast, he'll have like 13 minutes of speaking time, but it's impactful and it drives the show forward, and it makes it more interesting. You need to, I don't know, work on it. I don't know.
The funny part is too, and maybe I kind of feel bad for saying this a little bit, but I feel like the easier play and the smarter play for me would have been to get rid of Damaris, because this is what you can do. Jullian is outside, so Jullian can do the fresh and fit shit and just bring in a girl that can kind of fill in that role, because again, like I said, she doesn't really say anything that's out of the realm of just what normal girls say or think.
No, I
don't.
So
let me finish.
Yeah, I agree with you though.
I don't think she says anything out the normal that any girl says or think. Like, it's not like has a fresh take on things. She's just very expressive of what she says.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can find that in New York on the corner anywhere.
I don't think she's that expressive though.
I mean,
that's the thing. Like,
she's been pulling herself back because people have been calling her like a bull in a china shop. But
okay, because the last couple months that I've been listening, I've just been like, Damaris is pussy.
No, you just
like, that's what I feel like. I feel like she pussy. Like, for a woman that's but she from upstate for real, so she not even a real woman from New York. But that's not even like woman. Like, anybody who's from upstate is not a real nigga from New York, point blank period. If you from Buffalo, if you from Albany, if you from Schenectady.
What about Rochester?
Like, Rochester, if you not from the 5 boroughs, you're not from New York, point blank period. And be upset about that if you want. If you're a male, female, whatever the fuck, they, them, whoever you want to identify as. If you not from Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, Manhattan, what's the one I'm forgetting? Bronx. Of course I'm forgetting about the Bronx, because fuck the Bronx. But if you not from one of them 5 boroughs, then I'm not really like, we not rocking with you for real. And Damaris is from like fucking Schenectady.
No, she's from
Syracuse, upstate. Like, you not really like that bitch for real. Like, you was not built to be that bitch. You need to get like Remy Ma.
They're not getting rid.
They need to replace they need to put Jullian back on the show. I hate to say that I want a man on there more than another woman. They need to put Jullian back on the show, and then they need to replace Damaris with like Remy Ma. Y'all don't got enough money for Remy Ma though.
I'm about to tell you that
y'all do not have the budget for Remy. Oh my God.
Them niggas couldn't tour no more anything if they would have had Remy Ma on the show.
Yeah.
This should be done. But well, like I said, we wish y'all the best.
Wealth, this is according to Oxfam, of the world's 85 richest people is equal to the 3.5 billion poorest people.
It's fantastic. And this is a great thing because it inspires everybody, gets the motivation to look up to the 1% and say, I want to become one of those people. I'm going to fight hard to get up to the top. This is fantastic news, and of course I applaud it. What can be wrong with this?
Really?
Dick suckers.
Really?
So somebody living on
I celebrate capitalism.
$1 a day in Africa is getting up in the morning and saying, I'm going to be Bill Gates.
That's the motivation everybody needs.
Only thing between me and
I'm
that
not
guy
against
is
charity.
motivation. I just need to pull up my socks.
I am not.
I don't have socks.
Look, don't tell me that you want to redistribute wealth again. That's never going to happen. Okay?
You know what? You take a simple stat like this, which is neither good nor bad. It's just a fact.
It's a celebratory stat. I'm very excited about it. I'm wonderful to see it happen. I tell kids every day, what's wrong with this?
It comes up at a cocktail party.
No, Amanda, what's wrong with this statement?
One possible response
if you work hard, you might be stinking rich.
We're talking about people in extreme abject poverty. That's how you get 3.5 billion.
No, we're not. You were just talking about really rich people.
No. Okay. I'm going to tell you later what you should say to this. Coming up after the break.
Is it done yet? Okay, it's done.
That's Kevin O'Leary, who potentially may be the new purchaser and owner of TikTok.
Yeah. Did you know that TikTok was owned mostly by a joint like capitalist group that is mostly owned by American citizens? So TikTok has been mostly majority owned by Americans for most of the time anyways.
But that data is going back to China, fair. What are they going to do with our data?
It's a data war, everyone. It's the most important. Like, we're already selling our data to the, well, not selling because we have no choice. We're already giving our data to companies in the United States, just like we are to TikTok. It just happens to be going to a different country, and now we're in like data wars. Like, data is the most important thing. So it's a problem that China is getting our data instead of, and because we're spending a lot of time on TikTok. The problem is we're spending more time on TikTok than we are all of the other social media platforms combined, and that's starting to be a problem.
Well, I just played that clip just so that people could hear the greed that comes from these elite corporate classes, and that it's okay to wish bad on them. Like, it's okay to see and hear and want bad things to happen to people like that.
Now you're gonna have to bleep out. I'm also like, I said I would try to curse less to that one person who left us a comment. Child, I'm sorry. I forgot about your comment and I cursed throughout this whole episode. I promise you next time I'm gonna try, because I do agree with you. So I'm sorry. I disappointed you. My bad.
All right. Life is a labor of love, so let's keep building these moments together. And remember, your job is not your family, and the only thing you should be exploiting is these corporations. Thank y'all for listening to Talk FNF TV, and come back to us next week. Tell them what they need to do.
Follow us on all of the social media at talk.fnf.tv, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, leave a like, comment. Let us know if you disagreed with us, agreed with us, whatever. Subscribe. We appreciate you. Love you. Bye.